Happy Monday, everybody. You're on Live with the Blondes right here on KUNX, the UNX, your new main channel for all things paranormal and unexplainable. Hey, Dee Dee.
Hi.
I just want to point out real quick, Danny just said best pregame for a show is right here. And you know what? Thanks to our Get Haunted family, they do have the best pregame for a show going on. They have the best conversations going on over there. We always kind of, when Dee Dee and I come on early, we love to read what's going on over there.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of jokes and, inside stuff, and it's good stuff. We're here live with the Blondes. We have our very dear friend coming up here very soon. But before we add our guest, how was your weekend?
Good.
Yeah, everything's... I don't know if anybody's checked this out on Illusions from the Side of the Road, but she got some kind of interesting, well, not kind of, you got some super interesting captures from anime.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Really surprised.
Yeah, right.
I was just fooling around with the spirit box one day, and then I was using the SLS and my yes and no boxes. And if you saw the video, yeah. I mean, I was getting really good responses. I was like, wow. So I've been if I move her around, I've been very courteous. And
yeah, right. So are you getting, do you feel like when you're not doing stuff with anime, do you feel like some things are ramping up in your house?
No, that's another reason that it surprised me. Everything feels the same. And I kept waiting to see, will I get that furniture noise again? And I didn't. So I don't know. But boy, she sure wants to talk.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, I just got back, so I will add that also to the Paranormally Blonde social medias. But if you haven't seen what we're talking about, please go check out Illusions from the Side of the Road. She's got a really cool video of anime's interaction. And, you guys love, we have, your dolls have a big fan base, Dee Dee. People are very interested. Right. Yeah. So if go check it out, because it's pretty cool. So I just got back just a few hours ago from a little side road trip to Pennsylvania. I was in Newcastle at the Hillview Manor for a Get Haunted event. I will just start off by saying thank you to the people on the side. Kyle, Danny, Rob, Bill is here. Honestly, we are blessed to have them in our circle, and I am so grateful to be in there. What an amazing group of people. Honestly, if you haven't yet gone to a Get Haunted event, please check out their social media page for upcoming events. You will not regret it. It is so much fun. Hillview was amazing. I'm so walked out. I did all 90,000 square feet. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if anybody, I think I was everywhere. I'm a bit of a wanderer. So there were some amazing guests there. And I just want to say thank you guys all for being so kind and so much fun. And they're great investigators. And I just felt really bad because I was in my own world. I don't know. Apparently I'm getting antisocial as I'm investigating because it's like there's so much going on. I just can't get it all into my head or out of my head. I don't know which way it's going, but what a great place to go. So you guys should check out Hillview as well. They do some lives there. I'm not quite sure what Donnie and Jay's team is referred, or if they're just part of Hillview, but they do lives, they do investigations, they do a couple different lives throughout the week. And they're real. And I think every Wednesday is I think it's Wednesday. I think that's what he said. They do a live and they investigate, get different rooms and they go in there. And there's a lot of great history and a lot of great resident spirits. So check that out. And thank you again to Get Haunted. I so appreciated it. I antsy to do another one. I got to do another one soon, super soon. Outside of that, what else have we what were we doing last week, Dee Dee? Help remind me. My head is still a little foggy.
Last week we interviewed Angel from
Inside the attic. Yeah, what a nice person, right?
Yeah.
Like what a nice human being, and so well spoken. Like he was so easy to talk to, and I'm super excited to see he's got a couple new videos out. I can't stop watching. So he is continuing his investigation of his childhood home. Some interesting stories from him about that, and sort of why he's investigating it. So if you didn't watch it, you can go back and watch it on Paranormally Blonde's channel. And I believe also, again, you can check it out on KUNX on their YouTube. So tonight we are going to be joined by a good friend of the Blondes, and we haven't talked to him for a while, Mr. Rick McCallum. Hi there, handsome.
Holy cow. What I heard, it's a horrible thing to see on your screen all of a sudden.
Oh, stop.
I was enjoying looking at you two, and all of a sudden the face pops in the middle. Like, scared me.
Oh, well, welcome back to the Blondes.
Well, thank you for having me. I'll be on here every single day if you want me.
Yeah, we love having our Rick. But just remember, Rick, we're now on KUNX, so I have to keep it to an hour.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so
that's not enough blonde time.
I know. We're used to having just our own schedule, and I've had to learn how to bring it down to an hour. So we're going to enjoy this conversation because, oh my God, how exciting. You were just in your most favorite place on the planet.
Well, yeah, Scotland.
Yeah, Scotland. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so you were there was this for the Mystic Tours or?
Yeah, it was a ghost hunting tour. It was 9 days, and it had its ups and downs, just like anything else. But we had a pretty good time. Got to see a lot of stuff. Had some really weird things happen. So, I'll tell you one of them. We were in Inverary Jail, and in Inverary Jail they have a courtroom with mannequins in it. And Mikey Thompson went in there, and he had his DR60 recorder, and he said, so what were you tried for? And they came back, clear as a bell, murder.
Oh.
Yeah, so, that was pretty interesting. I heard somebody get chased down the stairs to the point where I almost went running up the stairs to rescue him. That was the Inverary Jail. That was a pretty cool place.
Oh, wow. How long had it been since you've been to Scotland? Because I know
3 years. 3 long years.
Wow. 3 long years.
And the bad part was there was a girl I liked there that worked in a that I was just starting to get to know, and just starting. And I was real excited to go back there and see her. And I walked in and I said, "Where is she?" And they said, "Oh, she moved to Ireland last month."
Oh.
So,
that sounds like the beginning of a movie.
It does.
You should book a trip to Ireland.
It's allergies.
But you can go to Ireland.
Yeah.
I didn't know her to stalker like that, for goodness sake.
But you could be doing a ghost hunt out there.
That's right. Rick.
I try to keep my stalking to, a certain level.
All right. I think, so the Blondes will give you a how to 101 when you're chasing a girl down.
Well, I got to tell you, I could really use that.
There you go.
I'm as matter of fact, one of the chapters of my book, it says, when it comes to women, I'm the dumbest man in America. And it's absolutely 100% true.
No.
One of the things I wrote in there, I said, I can have a girl that I've been married to for years who gave me a kidney, bought me a Cadillac, and I had asked my friends, well, do you think she likes me?
That's right. That's right. Well, we all have those moments. But as you see, Rob gave you some good advice here. He said it isn't stalking if you buy them something. So, right? Or buy something. Just do it. It's just Ireland. Isn't that right there? It's not a big... No,
it's a big country. And I'm not going to go into every bar to try and find her. Sometimes God, saves you from what you might have done.
Right.
And he also can create adventures. So I'm not quite sure where the problem is here, but okay. So
it's a good excuse to travel to Ireland.
That's right. So it's sad. So she's gone, but you were back in Scotland. You're there on a tour. Was this were there a lot of people that came?
Well, there was 30 people in the tour.
Oh, okay.
And that's a lot for a tour, especially when it's for ghost hunting, because you guys know, big crowd like that, it's hard to split up and, get good stuff. So, but we went into a couple places that was big enough to, like Balgony Castle, which is my favorite place. We didn't have a lot of time to do it though, because of the way the travel went. And we also filmed right after that a thing that's going to be on another podcast. So, but that was a lot of fun. Matter of fact, that one was had one of the strangest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
We were in the chapel, and everybody said there was a man in there that hated women because he was deformed, and the women just shunned him. And we sent in one of our people, the only girl we had with us, and she went in and she was sitting on the floor talking. And I went in with the Fleer, and then two other people, Mikey Thompson and then Gregor from Scottish Paranormal came in. And we were talking, and turns out, he was answering the questions, right? I said, if you had a chance, the girl's name was Cheryl. I said, if you had a chance to actually do something with Cheryl, what would you do? Right? And it said, love her. Right? So then I said, if you really had the chance, would you treat her nice? Right? And he goes, I will. Aww. So it was just, this poor guy was lonely.
Yeah.
And he really connected with Cheryl. So that was really something. And we had like 5 absolute answers to the questions we had in a row. When we were done, I was like,
oh. I wonder if he followed her.
I was going to say, does Cheryl have a new friend?
From her?
No, he's still there because I went back the next week and ghost hunted again on my own. Well, I was with the Scottish Paranormal guys. We had a ghost hunt there. And one of my favorite people in ghost hunting is the Laird of Balgony Castle. And I was really happy because he's 92 now, but I was real happy that I got to talk to him, for like a half an hour one day. And so that really made my trip.
Aww. How long were you gone for, Rick?
I was gone for a month.
Wow. That's nice.
Wow. And all of that was for the tour or?
No, the tour is 9 days, and then I just went ghost hunting myself.
Wow.
And I would have stayed longer, but the authorities escorted me to the airport.
They were done. They're like, you, Mr. McCallum, need to go.
Enough, buddy. Let's go. Out of the country. Beat it. Don't come back for a year.
That's right. Now, are you getting new material for another book?
Yes, actually, the book is halfway done.
Oh my.
And it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
It really is. There's a lot of personal stories. There's a lot of ghost hunting things that were really interesting. So there's going to be a lot of stuff from Scotland. That's what I was waiting on to finish the book. It should be pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if we won the Paranormal Book of the Year award again, but can't be greedy.
No, it can't be greedy. But you don't know until you do it, right?
Right.
So you get another book out there.
I didn't even know I won it the first time until somebody told me.
Oh, so they don't even inform you? They're just like,
no, I didn't even get a certificate of participation. I was on a show and the guy says, congratulations on your book, which, everybody says that, because you wrote a book. And I said, oh, thank you. And he goes, no, that award. And I said, what? And he goes, you won the Paranormal Award Show Book of the Year. And I said, no. And he goes, yeah, and I'll send you a link. And I did. Now this is cool, right?
That is cool. It's a nice surprise.
Yeah, right? Nothing like finding out on a show, but okay. All right. So I'm curious. So you've been ghost hunting a long time and you love to go to Scotland. You've done some amazing locations that, as Danny is saying, Scotland's on her bucket list. Who wouldn't want to go over and just the landscape itself, right? Like would be amazing.
Castle. Well, people don't know. Scotland was voted by the travel agents, I believe, to be the most beautiful country in the world.
Yeah. How could it not be?
And it is amazing. You get out there in the Highlands, and matter of fact, we stopped. One of the places we stayed was a place called the Stagecoach, and it was right on Loch Lomond. Right. We could walk out the door, and if you walk too far, you'd fall in it.
Oh.
And we're sitting there with the moonlight, and the line right in front of us, and it's fantastic.
Oh,
everybody that stayed there was like, we're coming back just to stay here.
Yeah.
It's a spectacular country. whatever the lady's name was, tell her that when she goes, let me know, and I'll give her the hot spots.
There you go, Danny. Yeah, Danny, remember that. If you want some good information, we'll get you hooked up with Rick McCallum, and he'll set you straight on that. I'm really curious, though, since you've been ghost hunting and you do travel, a far way to do it. Have you had any newer sort of experiences that you've never, like, you're just like, wow, I would have never expected that, like, in all the experience? Because you've had some in your apartment, you have shared some very interesting stories that you have had happen, and you've been to Scotland to do this a few times, but like, is there something like new and unexpected in your world of investigating that's really sort of, I don't know, intrigued you or surprised you?
Well, I do find that I've been doing a lot of stuff at the LAPD Museum.
Okay.
And Mikey Thompson, Cheryl Plum come with me. And sometimes we have Melissa St. Clair, who's a psychic medium, or sometimes we have other people that come with us. But the North Hollywood shootout room, that's where the big bank robbery happened, right down the street from me. I actually happened to be there when it happened. And I thought they were shooting a movie because I was about 2 blocks away and I'm watching the cars go by and I'm hearing all the machine guns. I was like, they're shooting a movie, and just went home. And then they said, yeah, the bank's being robbed. I was like, oh, it's just there. Right.
Oh.
But one of the things that happened was at the LAPD Museum. This really surprised me because we went in and we were, talking to it and trying to get some EVPs. And right in the middle of when we were talking to the bank robbers, who we thought we were talking to them, and Susan Slaughter asked a question, and all of a sudden, it came back, and you heard the battle sounds. You heard the machine gun, the heavy weapons going, and then you'd hear the cops shooting back, going bam, bam, because all they had was pistols. And I just turned around and looked at him. I said, I was there. That's exactly what it sounded like, right? And then, being the nice, polite guy I am, turned around because it was pay-per-view. I turned around and looked at the camera and I said, dudes, all you people paid for this, you just got your money's worth.
That's right. That's right.
But we did find out. Mikey is very smart in the tech things, and he and I will bounce things around. So we decided to try and see if we could do something to up, the way for them to listen and things like that. So he brought in a recording, and we decided to use the gunshots as the recording. And we had one person there with a SLS camera, and they have 2 mannequins standing in there of the guys that did all the shooting. And we turned on the sound, with the machine gun fire, and all of a sudden, both of the mannequins, boom, lit up with the SLS, and one of them got shoved outside onto the ground. It looked like the other one was actually shooting at him. It was bizarre, but that's one thing that really caught my attention, is that there are different ways to get their attention.
Right.
Yeah.
That was going to be incorporating more of that in the stuff I do.
I always find that interesting for people who have really, sometimes we get a little set in our ways, right? Like, we kind of know what we are tried and trues, right? And so it can be kind of, I don't know, it's intriguing to try something different and to see, like you said, now, can you up the ante here a little bit with getting evidence? What a great location. I mean, kind of a sad situation, but what a great location to really get in there. I mean, that was when we did our top 10 or top 10 favorite hauntings, top 8, I think it ended up being. Mr. McCallum here shared with us that was one of the LAPD Museum was one of his favorite places to go. And it sounds like for good reason.
I gotta check it out.
Funny. Every time we go back, it gets more active.
Yeah.
Huh.
There's actually the first motorcycle officer that was ever killed. His name's Walter. He and I have seemed to have made a connection, because the last time we were there, we had 3 K2 meters on the table in this conference room. And Melissa had said, I just heard somebody say Arthur. And I said, it was probably what said Walter. I said, because Walter's real active down here. And I said, Walter, are you here? And all 3 K2s just went boom. And all the way across the table, they were going, holy cow. And I said, yeah, Walter's pretty easy to talk to.
Wow.
But while we were there, we heard people walking above us. It's a very active place.
Wow.
Dee
I need
Dee?
to go there.
I was going to say this might be, you might need to hook up with Mr. McCallum there and
Yeah.
And if you do DD Jabril, if I said that right,
Yeah.
you will be my guest. So
Okay.
oh,
Thank
well,
you.
Look at that. Rick
And
and a
you-
date with a blonde.
you could be my guest too, but you're a little far away.
I'm a little bit further away. I'd have to set that one. That one would have to be planned for me, like a really good plan to get to California. And so you're in Scotland, you're doing your thing, you're getting more information for your third book?
Second
book. Okay. And you started posting about this, correct? Because I feel like I've seen
picture. There's a lot of things like Christine Augustin, who is is with another thing. She actually took a really cool picture of me in a graveyard late at night, and it's like sky blue, but it's like 11 at night, and I mean just the colors in it are amazing, and it's only me standing looking at my K2 meter in the middle of this graveyard. So I think that's going to be the cover of the new book.
Love that.
Yeah, I love that too.
Yeah. You can't plan that, right?
Right.
Those have to be just captured.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So you were out in the cemetery. I have to ask, so does Scotland have any of the same lore of the fairies? Like, do you ever capture anything like that outside?
No, I've never had anything like that. But the one thing about Scotland is everything is haunted. I mean, the whole country is haunted. I mean, you go anywhere. One of the best EVP things I've ever got, not EVP, K2 things, was 2 floors below in a travel lodge in Edinburgh. And I mean, the intelligence of the responses was amazing, because I always do trickery if I think I've got something intelligent. And I said, I'm going to ask, can you just light this up if there's more people here and how many there are? So I said 2, and it goes all 5 lights. And the guy that's with me from the travel lodge goes, oh, and I went 3, 4. And he's looking at me like, dude, it just went off at 2. And I said 5, and nothing. I said 2, and it went all 5 lights again. And he goes, oh, right. I said, yeah, you gotta double check without just saying, you can just do that. So, yeah. But it's, and what was happening, sometimes the K2 goes all the way to 5 and stays there. Both times it did that, I said, go back to 1, and it instantly went down to 1. Now, you can have Wi-Fi interference, you can have all kinds of stuff, but I can't make it go back down to 1 by myself, right? No matter what you do, right? So it's a very interesting piece. I mean, anybody I show it to, they just go, holy cow, that's amazing. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, awesome. And so the people that were on the tour, like just regular folks could join you, right? Like that's the whole point of the tour. Yeah. And did you have anybody that got like really amazing captures or evidence that they were like blown away? Well,
the thing at Balgoni where the, was talking to Cheryl, we were asking the questions, that really blew us away. And the 2 people that were filming it were people that were, the producers from Ghost Hunters. So it wasn't like a couple of bums.
Right.
Kat Hobson actually was with me, one of my friends, and Lori Dorsey, who was another really good ghost hunter. My cousins were there. But we had some really good investigators there.
Okay.
So, I mean, it wasn't bad. We could just let them go off on their own.
Okay.
Right? Because they were really good. So, we should have had more ghost hunting in this tour.
Okay. We
should have, but it just didn't work out. But I think everybody did the best they could.
Yeah. Yeah. So there wasn't enough or
things changed.
Got it.
Things canceled.
Yeah.
Locations.
Well, I don't really want to get into it too much, but we were supposed to have a lot more ghost hunting, and it didn't happen.
Okay. Things happen.
Yeah. Hey, they were in Scotland. For me, I would be like, I'm in Scotland. That's right. Fine.
Whatever.
I think most people were really happy being in Scotland. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to see more ghost hunting in the tour. So.
So do you feel like being in Scotland and ghost hunting in the US, is it similar, or do you feel like there's more activity in Europe or here?
No. In Scotland, it is much more active. It's much more intense.
Huh.
I mean, here you'll get activity and stuff like that. Over there, it will just jump you. I mean, it's exciting. You go in there and you say, "There's somebody here." Well, yeah, mate. Right? I have a thing there from the Frank's box where you see me asking and say, "Is there anything in the castle we should be afraid of?" And then with a Scottish accent, it says, "The energy."
Oh.
So, yeah. So, I mean, you'll get straightforward answers from the Scots.
Wow.
Okay. So when you travel overseas like that, and I don't know how much equipment you bring. Do you bring a lot of equipment, or is there equipment there that's ready for you to use?
Well, I bring equipment. I don't bring a lot of real advanced stuff. I bring stuff that I can carry with me.
Okay.
But I am also a member of Scottish Paranormal.
Okay.
And those guys have every bit of equipment known to man.
Okay.
So when I get over there, I do go ghost hunting with them.
Right.
And we'd actually gone to Ireland to ghost hunt, and I almost died. I think I told you that. So
yeah.
So no, that girl that's over in Ireland, she's safe. I'm not going back there.
That's right. Not even for a girl.
No, if things try to kill me, I get the hint.
Okay.
Not to that castle.
That's right. She must not be a blonde.
She's not.
There you go. There's your answer.
It was blonde. It would be different.
That's right. Okay, but I'm curious about when you're bringing, because I've not traveled overseas with equipment. I've not done ghost hunting overseas. How easy is it to get through? I mean, do you just pack it in your suitcase and nobody cares, or do they check and go, "What the hell is this?"
I never pack it in my suitcase.
Okay.
I always carry it on board. I always have 2 K2 meters. I always have 2 voice recorders. I always take a night vision camera.
Okay.
I also take my FLIR. So, I mean, that pretty much covers, the gauntlet, the voice recorders and the K2s and stuff like that. So, I mean, I've been out in the middle of the night, like, 2 in the morning, sitting, right outside the graveyards of Roslin Chapel and Roslin Castle. And I mean, you just can't beat Scotland. I mean, if you want to go into a graveyard in the middle of the night and ghost hunt, go ahead.
They don't care.
Oh, that's.
If you want to go into an abandoned castle, go ahead.
Yeah.
If you fall down, you break your arm, you go in there and the judge will say, "So let me see now, you trespassed on somebody's property. You fell down and you broke your leg in a place you weren't invited and it's his fault."
Yeah.
Case dismissed.
Yeah.
They don't, there's no nonsense. You're a big boy, you fall down the stairs. Oops.
So do they have as much vandalism, so to speak? I feel like that's the issue here, right? Like I feel like we just can't help ourselves when we come here, and if something's abandoned or a cemetery, I mean, people just can't help but to knock things over or to spray paint or whatever. Doesn't happen over there.
No, you have to know the Scottish people.
Okay.
They're very proud people and they're very kind.
Okay.
Just recently, you're starting to see some of the younger people putting graffiti up on walls and stuff like that, which was never there. But one of the things that you really notice about Scotland, and I've always told people this, when you're walking around in the city and you see a family, they're holding hands.
Okay.
Huh.
When they go down to the beach, they're all together at the beach. I mean, they do things as a family.
Yeah.
So it's a totally different vibe than what we have here. And I mean, just to show you what it's like, I went to, I stay at different places. I don't want to stay in one place. And I was only at one place for one day and another place for one day because the British Open was on. And the British Open is just jacks the prices up, right? And both places, because I've been there so many times, neither one of them charged me.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the people there are just extraordinarily nice. I mean, they really are. In my book, I talk about how a lady let me use her house for 10 days.
I remember that story.
Who does that?
Yeah, no one here.
Much less stay at my house.
Yeah.
Right. 10 days, and I'd never met this lady.
Wow.
So, I mean, they're really, really kind people.
You weren't afraid that they were like luring you in for something, or?
Well, the lady was like 75. I figured.
Oh. Okay,
You know?
there you go.
She was actually going to England to visit her sister.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've become really good friends with the family. I mean, they're really nice. So
Wow.
that's what I'm saying. One of the things that people don't think about Scotland, they go, "Oh, it's so pretty. There's Loch Ness. There's St. Andrews. There's all this stuff." The people are what makes Scotland.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and you got to remember, these people came from the most bloodthirsty clans in the history of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, they were duking it out, stabbing each other. I tried to explain to somebody when we were on the tour, and they said, "Yeah, the wars back then." I said, "Yeah, but the wars back then were different.
Yeah.
They were fought face to face. You could smell what the guy had for lunch."
Right.
I said, "You had to look him in the face when you did him in." I said, it was a really brutal place.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when they fought the English, it was on, trust me.
So do you think some of that sort of, I mean, that's passionate, right? Like,
Yeah.
So do you think that sort of helps feed into the paranormal over there?
Oh yeah. I think it just absolutely permeates just about every square foot of the place.
Mm-hmm.
The only place I didn't find anything, and I really expected to, there was the Battle of 1303 in Roslyn, and there were 30,000 English came and 8,000 Scots fought them, and the 8,000 Scots destroyed the English. I mean, they say it's the most bloody battle in history, and almost nobody knows about it.
Okay.
And if you remember when I fell and just tore up my knee, I was researching that battle, and I was walking through the woods and fell. So I think I'm like the last casualty of the Battle of 1303.
Interesting.
in the battlefield. And the guy that rescued me when I came walking out and gave me a ride back to the hotel is actually, manages one of the farms there that was the battlefield. So he and I went out in the middle of the night and were ghost hunting the whole thing, and I did not get a blip on the K2, nothing, and there were like 35,000 people died in this. Almost everybody in this thing died, and nothing. And and it just made me think. I was like, when you die for a cause, maybe you go.
Yeah.
But it was actually, I wrote in the book. I said, "Rest in peace, gentlemen."
Yeah.
But
Interesting. Yeah.
well, somebody should write a movie about this because nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
They sent 30,000 guys. The king sent 30,000 guys to kill one man, one of the Sinclairs, who was big in the Templar stuff. And because he was going to marry a girl that his friend wanted, it would have been a political marriage for the king. So he sent 30,000 soldiers to go kill this guy.
Yeah.
And because he knew the Scots would put up, if he saw the English coming in, they'd put up a fight. But they say the only English that survived were the really fast ones, because they tore them to shreds. But I had heard, and maybe somebody that's listening tonight can tell if this is true or not, because I've researched it and I get conflicting things. They said just as the two sides were going to, face off, this one army pulled up with the Scots and said, "We thought we'd give you a hand," right? And the guy goes, "Really? What's your name?" He goes, "William Wallace." So Braveheart showed up with his guys. And then just as they were ready to go, a whole bunch of other soldiers came up wearing white sheets with a red cross right through the middle of it. The Knights Templar showed up.
Wow.
So when you got William Wallace and the Knights Templar that show up to help you, you got a pretty good shot at winning.
Yeah, right. Maybe you should do this movie, Rick. You're a movie guy.
Actually, I've thought about writing it because it's almost nobody knows about it. Even the people in Roslyn, most of them don't know about it. It happened right down the way. There's a monument to it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And nobody really knows the real story.
Why do you think it's not talked about, though? Like, why do you think it's something they don't want to discuss?
Well, it's really, the reason is they think that the King of England didn't ever want it publicized because they got their ass whacked so bad.
Sure.
Right? And the fact that why he sent all these people over there just to get one of the Sinclairs.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a story that I've heard when I researched it. But
wow.
So
did they get the guy?
No.
So he lived.
Yeah, he lived. The Sinclairs are the ones who built Roslyn Chapel.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, he was around. The whole Sinclair family was like all Templars the whole time.
Yeah, he's a
Oh.
slippery sucker, huh? He just had that many people after him. He's like,
And did he get the girl?
Yeah, I think he did.
That's the total movie.
But I don't know if Sinclair was actually involved in the battle. Because
Well, he should have been.
Well, you would think, but they never mentioned him.
Oh.
You know? So he may have been in there. I don't know, but he never gets a mention. Once William Wallace showed up, everybody just went, "Oh,
yeah,
let's talk about him."
Yeah.
Yeah.
After Braveheart came out and stuff like that, but it's actually the bloodiest battle between the Scots and English in history, and nobody knows about it.
Interesting. I don't know.
Very cool.
I'm feeling a Hollywood Ghost Hunter production. I don't know.
I'm thinking, but you realize how much money it would cost to have 38,000 people duking it
No,
out?
you just CGI those people, you know?
I can do makeup for you.
There you go. You got a Hollywood makeup artist right there. I'm sure we can find you the main girl to play the role. Yeah, that's a great question, D Hoop. What year was this, Rick?
Nice try, D Hoop, but it was 1303.
Oh, interesting.
And it's called the Battle of Roslyn. Roslin.
Yeah, look at that. 1303. Remember that year?
Do you remember? Yeah, I do.
and actually, you know that the Knights Templar were wiped out in 1307.
Oh.
On Friday the 13th, which is where Friday the 13th comes from.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go, people. You're welcome for all this amazing history and little tiger tidbits you're learning right here today.
And one of the highlights that happened while I was in Scotland, right near Roslyn, there was and it's well known, it's not conjecture, it was actually a Knights Templar headquarters long after they were supposed to have been wiped out. And it's in a town called Temple because that's where the temple was.
Okay.
And I was fortunate enough that Greg Stewart from Scottish Paranormal drove down and took me over there because he knew where it was. And I tell you, as soon as you walked in, and he said the same thing too, I just looked at him, I said, I think I'm supposed to be here. And he goes, I always get that feeling too when I get here. And I said, I don't know why I don't get that. Usually I feel like I'm not supposed to be anywhere. You know?
Yeah.
And I just told him, I said, I just feel like I'm really supposed to be here. So I don't know if maybe somewhere back in my old days that, I was out there slugging it out, But
I was going to say, Rick, maybe this whole battle, maybe this is something that just is a part of your blood. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, you do know that one of the very most famous swordsmen in the history of Scotland was my relative, Zachary McCallum. And there was a man, this is another story, there was a man called Alistair the Devastator, who was 7 foot tall, red hair and a big beard, and he had a giant sword, and they would hire him to command armies. He was a mercenary. And he would go out there and he would just lay waste to the entire first thing. I mean, he just go out there. So, and they called him the Devastator because he never lost. I mean, other armies quit when they saw him coming. Well, they sent him to go take the Campbell Castle. And the McCallums are part of the Campbell clan. Okay. And, he came up with his army, and a bunch of people from the town came out to defend the Campbells. And he said, here's what we're going to do today. And he takes his giant sword and he sticks it in the ground. He goes, I'm going to fight one of you. If you win, my army leaves. If we win, we get the castle. He says, otherwise, I'm going to kill every one of you. Right? And finally, he says, so do you have a champion? And nobody came out. And finally, one guy walked out, and he was a student from St. Andrews University. Right? And he came out, and Alistair said these words. He goes, if there's three things the Campbells can count on, it's stone, limestone, and a McCallum. So this guy, Zachary McCallum, took him on and actually beat him in combat. And everybody was just like, Alistair lost, right? Because he desworded him. Now, when you desword somebody, the honorable thing is not to kill him. Okay. Right? So Alistair, doing the honorable thing, picked up his sword and took his army and left. So they went into battle again against I think it was the MacLeods, not sure. And Zachary actually killed 7 people in a row, in combat. And he went in to take out the clan chief, and somebody killed him from behind with a scythe.
Oh,
But they said he was by far the best swordsman anybody'd ever seen.
wow.
Why
So,
don't
yeah.
you why don't
What a
you live
cool
there?
history.
Yeah, why don't you live there yet, Rick?
Well, because you're only allowed to stay there, 3 months at a time.
Okay, but you can't take up residency? Like
No.
you could No,
No.
they don't allow you in.
No, you can stay there 3 months at a time. Now, if I could find
Wow.
myself a sassy lassie with a classy chassis from that might want to hook up with me and share my name, then I could stay.
Huh.
Interesting.
And the McCallum would return.
Yeah, like
I
if
love
you,
that.
But yeah, I was gonna say you have like your lineage is there.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Well, they do care, but you can only be one generation removed.
Ah,
And
Yeah.
mine is like 3 generations back. We're the last ones that lived there.
okay.
So,
Ireland's the same. I can move to Ireland because my mom was born in Ireland, so I could actually
Oh.
live there. Yeah.
And would you, Dee Dee?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Are you
have
kidding?
you been to Ireland?
Huh?
Have you been
I've
there?
never been, which is
Yeah,
so sad.
Ireland is nice. Scotland is better.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
No, the difference is Ireland has a lot of industrial stuff.
Okay.
Scotland looks like it did in the 1700s mostly.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, Glasgow looks like Cleveland,
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
but the rest of this, everything else is like old time buildings and everything else. So,
Cleveland. Is that a bad thing or
no, but it looks like a big city.
okay? It's just
I just
interesting that
picked
you chose
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Because it's in that state you like so much.
Yeah, well, you have Ohio in the brain because he thought I lived in Ohio, and that is just not the case, folks. I do not live in Ohio. I'll drive through it. I will not live there.
Although I was just in Ohio when I went to the old Paulding jail.
You know what? And I wanted to
And
actually
by the
make
way,
that trip.
And I do believe I invited you. So
You did, and let me tell you something. That unfortunately came at the tail end of a 6-day road trip, and I didn't know if I could get away with saying I'm going away again for the weekend. So I could not say yes to that one, but you'll be back there, right?
I don't know. I hope so.
Okay, well, next time.
They didn't run me out of town on a rail or anything.
No,
So maybe
they were like, that's it for Mr. McCallum.
Yeah,
No more.
you're out, buddy. You've been here.
Okay, so what is like in the future for Mr. McCallum? Do you have anything going on in good old Hollywood movie wise? Are you
Well, movie wise, I've pretty much stopped doing movies.
okay?
And the reason is my knee is so bad
Mm.
that when you go to do stunts in a movie,
Yeah.
right, it never ends up being what they originally said you were going to do.
Okay.
So, if they want to do a fight scene and throw me around and stuff like that, I could do that, right? But if they said, okay, run up the stairs and nope,
Oh.
run down the stairs, nope,
Aw.
and I would not go to a set where that might happen and embarrass the stunt coordinator, So besides that, I'm like, old and decrepit and stuff like that.
You're not. Best stuntman in Hollywood right here, Rick McCallum.
Yeah.
What about any future paranormal explorations? Do you have anything big on the horizon coming up?
Well, actually going back to Scotland in the not too distant future, hopefully.
Really?
Yeah. I'm also going to go to Wales and England.
Okay.
And I'm thinking about going to Portugal
Oh.
to a town called Tomar.
Okay.
And Tomar has a very big Knights Templar temple there.
Oh.
And I really like the Knights Templar. I really do. So it's, I kind of run around and that'd be fun to see.
Well, I was just going to say,
Yeah.
now that would be, I feel like going to Scotland and going to Portugal, like those are very different investigations, no?
Yeah.
But
Oh,
you're
yeah.
going to similar situations with the Templars. So I would just think those would be very, very unique and different experiences.
Oh, they would. Absolutely. Because most of the Templar stuff that was in Portugal
Yeah.
was more of the stuff where they were the money men and things like that.
Okay.
In Scotland, they were they were pretty much the brawlers,
Okay.
So, but Scotland has such a rich history. I mean, it really does. Everywhere you go to the Highlands, you go to the Lochs and stuff like that. There's so much history, and you can feel it. I hate to say that because everybody tries to say stuff, but when you're going through these towns, you just feel like, wow.
Yeah.
Cat Hobson was so absolutely cool. we would be somewhere and she'd be looking around, she'd go, "I love here."
Aw, she's such a good person. She's so
love
fun. Yeah, she's so fun. There you go. What about Spain? Rob is saying you should check out Toledo, Spain.
Well, I could go to Toledo, Ohio. There
you go. There you go. Great question by D Hoot once again.
Yeah, she says, do you investigate famous people, places, and things in Hollywood?
Well, yeah, I do actually. One of the places I go to many, many times is the Omen House. And the Omen House is right next to where the Tate family was murdered. A lot of the stuff that came from that place is in the LAPD museum.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, the stuff from the North Hollywood is there. The Black Dahlia stuff is in there. So you get all the energy from all those famous cases. So the LAPD museum is definitely a hot spot.
Yeah.
I've also done the Houdini Mansion.
Oh, that would be really interesting to check out. Yeah.
Well, I actually got something that was kind of a surprise. Me and one of my guys, not it wasn't Kane or RA, it was another one of my guys. We walked into this basement thing, and this huge shadow went in front of us. So I said, "Come on!" And the other guy's a little bit bigger than me, so we went back and we walked in. We couldn't create any shadow at all. So we're like, "Okay, that's strange." And then there were two double beds, or two queen size beds actually. And I went over and I sat my K2 and my voice recorder on the bed, and I went over and because we've been walking all day, and I sat down on this futon. And Ed, the guy that was there, he actually played one of the Visigoths in the Capital One commercials. And I doubled him in Hatchet 2. But anyway, he picks up the K2 meter and he walks into the bathroom. And as he's walking, he says, "I'm going to get a bass reading." And when I was listening back to the tape, right, I hear, "I'm going to get a bass reading." And then I hear, "No." Right? I was like, now that's creepy, right? Just by the way it said no.
Yeah.
But when I was on the bridge at Roslyn with some other ghost hunters, and somebody said, "Have you gotten any good EVPs?" I said, "Yeah, check this one out." And the guy goes, "Oh, mate, that's the best one I've ever heard." And I said, "Well, the no is pretty good." He goes, "No, what it says before that." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Right? "What's it say before that?" And he goes, "Listen, there's 4 words." So I got my head jammed in there, and I can hear, "No, there's 4 words there." I said, "Do you know what it says?" And he told me, and I said, "All right." So I went back and I got another thing. I had the Scottish Paranormal guys run it through their audio and crank it up. And you know what it says? It says exactly what the guy told me. You hear Ed say, "Gonna get a bass reading," and then you hear, "Get back here, punk."
Oh
no. Right? So something in that place was not friendly.
Oh.
And I'll tell you another one that I got that was really interesting. The bird cage in Tombstone, Arizona.
Yeah.
I had ghost hunted there. It was just me and the owner, right? It's amazing that things like this happen, that I get to do that. The first thing I said in my book was, my only superpower is people are really nice to me.
You're a good guy, Rick. Yeah. That's why.
But they don't know me and they still are nice to me. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, I set my camera down, my night vision camera down in the poker room. Now, the poker room's famous because it had the world's longest poker game over 8 years consecutively. In other words, not when they opened up the next day. They never closed. The game never stopped for over 8 years.
Wow.
As soon as somebody got up, somebody else sat down, and they just played and played and played. But there were a lot of shootings and things down there.
Okay.
So I put my camera down, and I walked upstairs, and as I was walking up the stairs, they said, "Did you get killed down here?" Walked up another one, I said, "Did you kill somebody?" And when I got back and I was listening to my about a month later, lazy bum that I am, I'm listening to the tape, and I was really, really surprised because you hear me and Billy come down and we're talking, and it's a very short piece of tape. And right in the middle of it, you hear a man with a Mexican accent. And I say Mexican because Mexico is like 4 feet away.
Yeah.
From Tombstone, right? Yeah. So a lot of the people that were in Tombstone were actually Mexican citizens, right? But anyway, you hear this voice, and it says very clearly, "I had to."
Oh.
With a Mexican accent. So last time I went, I called up Billy. I said, "Billy, look what I found." And I sent him the tape, and he goes, "Wow." I said, "I'm going to be there in about half an hour. Can I come in for a little bit?" And he goes, "If you can get here in about 15 minutes, He says that you can get in just in this between two ghost hunting groups. So I went in and put my voice recorder on the same place.
Yeah.
And I said, and take a guess. How long do you think I got till I got another voice from this guy? Another answer.
2 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know. 15.
38 seconds. This guy likes to talk. I got on there and I said, last time I was here, I asked if, you had killed anybody, and you said I had to. I said, now, can you tell me if you ever saw anybody else get killed? And you hear, yes. So I mean, 38 seconds till this guy talked to me. So back there, this guy is very verbal.
Yeah.
I mean, and I have them both on tape. So
see, even the dead like
actually, the dead like me better than the live people do. So I'm good.
Oh, stop! You just said everybody was really friendly to you. Don't even try that.
Friendly to me too.
Don't even try. Don't even try.
Do you really think you're the first girl that's ever said "Don't even try" to me? And I'm talking about just today.
Oh, Rick, you're so silly.
I'm interested in this. I don't know where Marilyn Monroe's former home is, but it's haunted. I'm guessing you're mentioning that because it's in LA.
It is in LA. It's actually it's not in Beverly Hills. It's actually a very small, like a cottage place.
Okay.
And I have heard that it's haunted, but I've also heard that the Hotel Roosevelt, you see her in the mirror.
Oh,
yeah.
I've also heard that you hear Montgomery Clift playing his, this goes back to the celebrity things. That you hear Montgomery Clift playing his bugle from when he was in From Here to Eternity, I think it was.
Okay.
So there's a lot of celebrity stuff in Hollywood.
I'd be very interested in going to her home because as a teenager, I was obsessed with Marilyn Monroe. I mean, I watched all her movies and she was everything to me. And so that would be really interesting to go to her home and investigate that.
The whole story of Marilyn Monroe is very interesting. Matter of fact, Marilyn Monroe's stuff is at the LAPD Museum.
Oh.
Now, there's some people that think she was killed because of the Kennedys.
Yeah.
Other people think that she was killed because she was just getting ready to say something about UFOs.
That's the new conspiracy. I've been listening to some of that. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you know that she was having an affair with both Bobby and John.
Yeah.
And people have a tendency to try and make their girlfriends, say, well, listen to what I know.
Yeah.
And could have got her killed.
Yeah. Something did.
There are some very interesting podcasts out there about some of the new thoughts and theories.
Send them my way.
Well, the one thing that you really need to know is that Thomas Noguchi said she died from a Nembutal overdose.
Yeah.
And she had no pill, the things that, the capsules.
Right.
There were none of them in her stomach.
Yeah.
So actually what they said is, and private detective said that he had been taping secretly her room, trying to get stuff on both the mob and the Kennedys.
Oh.
And he heard two people go in there and heard it wrestling with her, and they said that they actually gave her Nembutal suppository.
Oh.
So that didn't show in the stomach.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
Now, when I was at the LAPD Museum, Melissa St. Hilaire is a very talented psychic medium. And I really like her because when she goes in a room, she doesn't find something in every room.
Right.
I really like her. So when she actually says something, you listen to her.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's sitting there and she's going, "Oh, the blonde. She's being murdered. The blonde." And they're going. All the people are going, "Oh, that's Sharon Tate," because all the first stuff is there too. And I said, "I don't think that's Sharon Tate." And she goes, "2 men in her bedroom." And I said, "That's not Sharon Tate."
Yeah.
Right. And I said, "That's Marilyn Monroe." Right, because everybody said these two guys came in and killed her, and that's what she was picking up on without even knowing it. So, and she got in so deep that I actually went over and shook her out of it.
Oh, wow.
Huh.
But,
Rick, you always have amazing stories. I hope you and Dee Dee can pick a good time to do an investigation. That would be a great a great little, we'll do a live with you guys, even if it's just a quick introduction and look around. That would be an amazing collaboration to see. So,
well, when I do those, I'm usually there with another company.
Okay.
And I don't want to say their name because I'm talking on your show, right? Right. So, but yeah, they're very kind people to me, and they will definitely allow me to have the lovely Dee Dee come in as a guest.
There you go.
Awesome.
Date with the blonde sounds like to me. Love it.
Who turns down blondes anyway?
That's right. No, who does?
You do need a brunette in the middle so you can all stand like this.
That's right. I know.
You got the Farrah hair. Come on.
Yeah.
I do. We do have the Farrah hair. It's my new thing. And I have to be feathered up. Trying to bring the 70s back, right?
Yeah.
I'm just really trying to keep my hair on top of my head. I'm getting where I'm shampooing with super glue.
Nice. Oh, stop. Good. Yeah, there you go. Maybe we can get haunted out there too. Road trip from Pennsylvania to California. Rick, we are looking forward to this new book to come out. When are we thinking it's coming out?
Well, I'm actually having a book signing at Dark Delicacies here in Burbank.
Okay.
For the first one, and I'd kind of like to have it done by then, but I don't think I'm going to because it's October 1st.
You better be going.
Yeah, and getting it, formatted, edited and everything else. So I'm also doing a thing. Actually, it's October 2nd, so that wouldn't help much. Where I'm a featured speaker at the Orange County Paracon.
Yeah.
So,
there's an Orange County Paracon?
There is.
They're hard to find.
Huh? I want to go to that.
You should come.
I will. Give me the information.
Okay, this is gonna happen. We're gonna start getting some West Coast represented right here on the Blondes. It is time to get more West Coast out there. So we know things like the Orange County Paracon. What the heck? Dee Dee didn't know.
It's actually October 1st and 2nd in Orange County, California.
Okay. There you go. Well, let's look
door.
that up. Yeah, let's look that up. Rick.
Henry San Miguel is the guy who's putting it on.
We're going to look all this up. Maybe there's something on social media. Rick, it is always such a pleasure. I'm so glad that you're a friend of the Blondes and you always say yes when we're like, hey, you want to come on?
Yeah.
And you always are like, I'm on. I'll be on. So we love to catch up with you. We'll have to maybe add you into the mix for a little after party soon, like a little game playing if you'd like to come and play a game with the Blondes and little free. There you go. A little dance party maybe. Always, guys. On the side, thank you guys for your constant support and love. We appreciate each and every one of you. Next week, we have a really fun guest, Mr. Corbin Bentley, and he is an influencer, a paranormal investigator, and now he is going to be a model, and he is a beautiful man that I can't wait to introduce to you all. If you don't already know him, I'm a little older. I don't know all these influencers, but oh my gosh, he has such a great personality and does amazing things. So you guys are going to meet him next Monday along with the Blondes. And past that, we've got a couple other, I think we've got October. October. Now I've got October on the brain. Thanks, guys. We've got August. We're just in August. We got August filled. So this is turning out to be an amazing month. And like always, we will see you guys next Monday right here on KUNX. And Dee Dee, you have an amazing night. Rick, thank you once again for your time. We always love our time with you.
Well, how many times have I ever said no to you guys?
I know, never.
I'm so excited. I get out.
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna work out a game night. You guys are gonna want to come to that one because
for sure.
Yeah, we'll let him loose on the Blonde channel. Then don't have to worry, right?
October 2nd, Dee Dee.
Okay.
There you go. All right, you guys, you watch out for any kind of crazy weather out there. There's I don't know if you have anything going on in California. You guys kind of have it easy.
Yeah, except for it was 100 yesterday.
Yeah, the heat.
Yeah. Well, we get
I don't have an air conditioner in my bedroom, so at night, I wake up, I look like a hot dog. All
nice. With that, we're gonna send you guys off for a good night, and we will see you next Monday. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, ladies. Bye.